Hey all, Steve from GuitarNiche here. On the bench we have a 2006 American Telecaster made in USA. And the purpose of this video is kind of twofold because we have a little bit of an issue. We got leftover finish on the frets, which looks like crap. And we need to clean it up and keep the basic finish of the fretboard intact in the process. So how are we going to do that? Well, it's going to be fairly straightforward. I've done this, quite a few times. And our solution involves a crowning file, but used as a scraper. So what I will do is, let's get tight into one of these frets here. One of our offenders here. No pun intended. This one right here, you should be able to see. And maybe if yeah, there we go. Okay. There's a nice chunk of lacquer. Or actually, in this case, it's urethane. It's a matte urethane finish. And this is quite common for some production instruments that are sprayed after they're fretted, which is annoying as hell for the end user. I mean, you got these ugly chunks of, finish on the, next to the frets. That's just not cool. Anyway, we got to get rid of it. So, using just a regular old, I guess this would be a large size, medium to large size crowning file. Hosco or Gurion, I can't quite remember. One or the other. Anyway, I'm just gonna do that and it's done. Just like that. I'm not trying to gouge the fret or anything like that. All I want to do is break off that top layer of finish right next to the fret. Really straightforward. And then once it comes time to cleaning up the fretboard, this will be no problem. No problem at all. Okay. The other thing is very important is because this is, the file is going to load up with the plastic. Or the finish like real fast, right? So we need to have a file card to clean that out. If you don't clean it out, you're just going to be causing a whole lot of extra grief because you're going to slip and you're going to have issues. The file is on. It's not absolutely right on top of the crown because I don't want to disturb the crown. I just want to get rid of that excess material, which is actually a fairly straightforward job. Just scraping it off with a file, not a big deal. And it doesn't really harm the finish of the fret or anything like that. Like I said, once we get into cleaning the frets, giving them a little bit of a polish, any marks that are there will be dealt with accordingly. Mind you, this is one of my. I should throw in this caveat that this is a file I've been using for a long time. It's worn and it doesn't, it kind of burnishes more than it cuts, but it does kind of both very well. So it's just knowing your tools. Simple as that. Anyway, I'm going to take care of the rest of the plasticized finish, the urethane that's on the frets here, and I'll get back to the next step, which is cleaning up the fretboard itself. Our excess urethane has been cleaned out of the fret knees, as I call them. And the frets are still in pretty good shape. Of course, there's going to be a few odd scratches here and there, but the ugly plastic junk is gone, so they look more uniform. And cosmetically, it's way better. Might be some little leftovers here and there, but we're not concerned about that. The real question is, now what are we going to do? We still have to clean the fretboard. Well, we should clean the fretboard, and we should bring the overall finish up to something that is more uniform, so the frets look nice and the fretboard looks nice. I will say this, that it has been, somebody tried to clean it previously, and there's some, I don't know if you can see it, but there's some cross scratches in there. Yeah, you probably see it, but not worried about that. It is what it is. I'm not going to try to clean it up. Just want to clean the uniform, make the neck look more uniform. And yeah, there's some of the junk left over. Anyway, let's get to it. You should have a pretty good idea of what you're working with as far as, you know, the ground rules in terms of the finish and stuff like that. Just so, you know, at the end of the day, you want a product or an end product that looks good, plays well, all that good stuff, you know, and it presents well, you know. And this, for a lot of people, this would be a prime candidate for steel wool. I'll tell you this right now. Because this is a matte finish, there's no way steel wool is going to get anywhere near that. Because for one, you would need the quadruple O, which is just going to be a shit show, pardon my French, of contamination. Unless you take the neck off and do it outside or something like that, then maybe you'll be okay. But on the bench in a working environment, that stuff gets everywhere. It contaminates my tools. It can, you know, get stuck to the pickups. Yes, you can get rid of it with a magnet and all that good stuff, but a magnet anywhere near your pickups can destroy your pickup polarities and magnetic properties, so we don't want to do that. But the question remains, how do we tackle this in a safe way and get the finish up to something that is going to be acceptable? Simple as that. Being that this is a matte finish, it has a certain characteristic, so we don't want to polish it. We want to clean it, and those are two entirely different things. So I already hit this once with one of my favorite mild detergents, and believe it or not, what I'm going to use to recondition this particular matte urethane fretboard is my trusty brass bristle brush. Yes, I can hear the gasps, but trust me, this will do. Because this is a matte finish, and it's very, very, very hard, and I've done this 1,000 times, I know what the end result is going to be, so bear with me just for a second. So one particular viewer said, I wonder what the people at Fender think of that. You know what? I don't know. I don't care. I just know that it works and it produces a lovely result. And it takes seconds. Now the beauty of this is that these bristles are only 7 thou thick, and they're like they got a kink in them. They're twisted, so there's just something about it that works. It's magic. It's freaking magical. So let's have a look at what we just accomplished. Oh my gosh, that looks like a matte finish on a tele board. Yup, nice and even. Nice and even. There's some damage there from, not from me, but from whoever tried to clean it before. There's actually some gouging here, which could have been from, that could be actually factory too. But anyway, I digress. Let's give that another hit. So at this point, it's kind of burnished again. It's the frets and everything are nice and even. The fretboard is even. So we're dealing with hardnesses of materials, and we're trying to use tools that will clean up and present the end result in terms of, you know, does it look copacetic? Now I just noticed there's still some junk down here in this area here. Bear with me. This nice piece of 2400 micro mesh, and I'm just gonna rub it. All I'm doing is just unifying the shine on the frets. Yes, I'm going with the fretboard, not this way. If I wanted to, I would use the guard, and I would, you know, do each fret individually and make nicey nice. But in this instance, it's not warranted because it's just the nature of the beast at this point. You gotta you know, look at each individual item in terms of processing and stuff like that. My approach to this particular neck is I'm going to do it this way because the end result is going to fit the instrument and the player, and they're going to be happy with it, and it's as simple as that. So where do we wind up? Yeah, we got a little bit of haze on there from the micro mesh. So what are we going to do? We are going to hit that with our last little bit of mild detergent. So that's just picking up surface junk, and we will finish up with a clean piece of paper towel. Make sure we're not picking up any remnants. Like I said, there was some damage on this from whoever did the work previously, so I'm not going to repair anything like that. It's got a few years on it, so it's just aging. But anyway, you can see a little bit of pre-routing there, okay? So I don't want to necessarily get rid of that and blend it in too much, because that's kind of cool. That's as that keeps going, that's going to turn into breaks in the finish, and it's going to start to turn into those dark wear lines that are a page in the diary of this instrument. But overall, we can say that the finish itself, as it stands, is not too bad. It's uniform, it's clean. You can see, if you look at the dots here, you'll see there's a chip that actually came out there. It came in like that, but we'll see there's some delamination there. That's the nature of this finish. It likes to come off. It doesn't necessarily work the best with changes in temperature, humidity, and the expansion and contraction of the material itself, the wood, all that. You can see we still got a little bit of junk down here. We'll clean that up. I'll take care of that. And the nature of the story this far is, well, we got rid of that is the vast majority of the excess spray over overspray over the frets, and we took into consideration what the finish of the fretboard is, the hardness, and trying to get it back into a uniform finish that looks even throughout. Okay. Anyway, hope you got something out of that. My name is Steve. This is GuitarNiche. As always, play loud, have fun, have a great day. Read the resources below in the description. And cheers. Catch you on the flip. See ya.